underestimate the power of PlayStation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Beyond, episode 328. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside my Italian meatball, Brian Altana. Brap indeed, friend.
Just one today.
Just one?
Yeah, why not?
Because you're sad.
Yeah, let that other shoe drop whenever you're ready.
Yeah. We are, of course, sad because the third voice, for the last time, the Dark Knight of News, Andrew Goldfarb. Beyond. You're leaving us.
I don't think I'll be. It won't be the last time. I'll
You will never come back to this
Clements
show.
has been on like 145 times since he's been gone.
No, that's not
Once.
true. Yeah,
From the
one
grocery store? No, he called in once. He called
from the
in
grocery
once.
store, and then he was at 300, and I'll be at events and stuff.
Clements
Sure.
called in from a grocery store?
Yeah, on the last night, on the night the PS4 got announced.
Is he
the
buying
day before he was-
applesauce and almond butter?
That's exactly. He
Loves
was
that
like
almond
listing
butter.
Kale
off what he was
chips.
buying, and then Greg was like, "All right," and hung up on him, and then the next
That
day,
man, eats healthy. He knows what's up.
Yeah. True.
You are leaving of your own volition.
I am.
That's a rarity for Podcast
Yeah.
Beyond hosts.
Yeah.
You can't. Where are you going? Tell us about where you're going.
What's
What's
I
next?
Can announce it next week. I'll say it soon.
You suck.
It's something different.
So everyone should follow you on Twitter for the announcement.
Yeah, you can follow me on. Can you say it?
At Garfep.
Yeah,
Andrew
see,
Goldfarb
you're
is
so good at
Garfep.
it
Just
now.
it took me many years to
Yeah.
get it.
Just in
Greg-
time. You got it. Last time you'll
Garfep
ever have
is-
to do that.
Greg always regrets fucking elderly people.
Right, that's how it's spelled out if you need it.
Yes, exactly. But no, I'll be able to say very soon. I just, a little bit of overlap issues. But yeah, very, very soon I can say.
How long have you worked at IGN?
It'll be like just hitting 2.5 years. My first stuff was, in office.
First stuff.
My first stuff was from New York I did strategy guides for Mark Ryan and stuff. And then I went to E3 2011 media running. So I went to, I think that's where I met you for the first time.
Yeah.
I went to all the booths and got assets and stuff. And then Colin Campbell took over news, started writing for him from New York, and then started in the office in August of 2011, very end of August.
So how was it?
Good, great. I mean, man, yeah.
It was so good, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
How was the sex?
Ooh. With you, or are we talking specifically?
One-way
No.
ticket to Pound.
I never
Yeah,
gave you
exactly.
that.
So no, it was good. It was great. I mean, I'm leaving here with like some of the best friends I have, and
Sure.
have had incredible experiences. I've met incredible people. Like I obviously.
So what did it do for the video game industry for you? Like, has it changed your perception of the way games are made? Like, has it? Because I know when I went to art school and all of a sudden I learned how everything was made, it changed going to a gallery for me. So this job did the same for video games to me, for some good and some bad. It's just pumping that lube out.
3 pumps.
Oh, yeah.
For,
I
Look
do
at
it on
how
my
much
whole
you
body.
have.
I do it on my whole body.
I'm
Everybody
glad-
watched last week's Beyond. They know.
30 seconds ago
I'm lubing up everybody, just like we talked about.
30 seconds ago we were jokingly making sexual references to each other. Oh, now it's all over his face.
Oh, we got like $1 million.
look at how much is on your hand.
It's like Ra's al Ghul
No,
coming
no.
out of the pit over here.
You're like $10.
Yeah, this is like the Matrix when like he first comes off the thing. God,
Ah.
you're
Hey.
so oozy and slippery.
Well, you know what? Again, you weren't here last week. We
Yeah.
discovered that Beyond is the perfect time to put the lube on.
For lubing up.
Yeah,
well,
because
we just normally don't do it on camera.
well, we did it last week. We all did it.
Yeah.
Oh.
We all joined me
We
in
all
the
lubed.
Lazarus
Now
pit.
only one of us is.
Keep going.
You
Talk
look-
about the
Still caked in
industry.
between your fucking. Oh, it's,
My hand is
ugh.
so. My hands are. They hurt. My skin hurts.
They have nooks and crannies.
They got the nooks and they're the
Yeah.
Thomas English muffins of
They
hands.
collect all the lotion. That makes
Yeah.
sense. The Thomas English muffins of hands.
What are you grossed at? You were here last time.
Yeah, but now it's all over your head and
I feel
it's
so
not rubbed
good.
in anywhere.
your face is all red now. Like it did worse things to your face.
Yeah, that like a little patch of dry skin wasn't hurting me.
Like a little demon pig man.
Did it change the video game industry?
Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure. I
You ever see your heroes lube up?
in that way, it certainly did. No, I mean, I feel like I've learned a lot about like the dev side of it, and in this specific job, God, it's like all about learning like listening to financial calls and learning like kind of the business side of it. And so I think in that way, I've definitely learned a lot. But
I think that like meeting the people who make video games is incredible, and it changes your. When I was younger, I did a lot of what the commenters do, where they go, "Oh, those developers are just being lazy. They could have easily made this game 12 players instead of 11." And they're like, "No, to do that means we had to turn all the ladders in the game upside down."
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know that, but you hear stuff like that on the inside, and it's fascinating to hear like what what actually goes into making a game. It made me appreciate things more and be less dismissive about even like the worst games have people working on them to make parts of them good, as we've learned before. So
Yeah, especially that Shoots and Ladders game that you just broke the embargo on.
Shoots and Ladders too.
The 12-player Shoots and Ladders game. With
We
the
had to
upside
turn
down
all the
ladders.
ladders upside down.
It's like Titanfall, but with snakes and slides.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna miss you a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss
Obviously,
you too.
you leaving
Obviously,
is...
Colin's gonna miss me a lot because he came in and did the show.
Good point. Yeah, there's no taxation, no Colin Moriarty
Yeah.
on this show. We delayed putting it up on Tuesday because Colin was gone still at a PlayStation event with Vince. He didn't get back in time, so we said we'd do it Wednesday. Wednesday morning came around. He accepted the invite yesterday for the podcast. Then today it was like, oh, I can't do it. I have to go to lunch with these developers. I have a demo.
It's okay. I'm gonna see him. We'll get some.
Well,
beers
yeah,
and stuff.
you see him outside. It's not like
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's important to the people who are listening or viewing this show that it's not like you're dead to him. You see him.
Right.
You saw him this morning.
That's true. For like 10 seconds.
Yeah, you're sort of dead to him.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, we're a very resilient group here. People come and go all the time, and the ones that stay are the ones that stay forever. And sometimes people leave, and we just shake them off real quick. Just.
You don't strike me as a shaker offer. I think you're
I'm
gonna
gonna text
keep on.
Brian every night.
I was gonna say you're gonna
please
keep
do.
on keeping
Please
on.
We
with
have a
all of
little
us.
group chat with me, Mitch, Marty, and Brian. I'm gonna keep that going.
That's cool. I didn't want to be part of it anyway. So I got nothing.
You do enough.
I don't look at my phone.
You don't even. Okay. All right. Fine.
You just text me pictures of Portillo's balls.
Jesus, he doesn't have balls anymore.
Well, you sent me a weird one.
Why did you say
Oh.
that like it's a new thing?
What?
He doesn't have balls anymore. Like
Well,
it just
I
happened.
was more offended
Yeah.
that he's not caught up on where Portillo's genitals are.
Yeah.
Oh.
That he's
I'm
never known
sorry.
Portillo's with balls.
Portillo and I, we've talked about the neutering. I didn't mean to bring up harmful
Okay,
memories.
it hurts a lot for him. Speaking of memories, topic of the week, of course, is Goldfarb leaving. Most questions involve something about it, but Charlie Gadsden writes in, says Beyond.
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 I bid farewell and happy travels to Andrew Goldfarb. But first, Andrew, are there any IGN memories you would like to share before you move on to the IGN afterlife? And Greg, Colin, and Altano, do you have any other noteworthy memories for Andrew? Also, will his legacy be mentioned in the same breath as the great Jim Riley? Charlie says, my personal memory of Goldfarb is that the first time he wrote into Podcast Beyond, my email was also read for the first time.
Oh wow!
Look at that.
We
Look
have
at
we
how
have a
much you've
bond.
accomplished and how nothing. Charlie Gadsden's done nothing with his life.
We have a life bond forever.
So yeah, give me some IGN memories. What
It's funny
stands out to you?
There's not like this one big thing, but it's the little things like sitting across from Clements every morning and coming in and doing like the stupidest hypotheticals. Like Clements would sit down and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then like 5 minutes later, we're like in tears laughing at like a hypothetical about if a robot stormed through the wall. Like it was like the weird shit like that, and like every morning hearing you talk to Charles about what kind of sandwich you brought for him that day, and then having like him being like, "Please stop making me sandwiches." And the next day he'd bring another one. Like it's all like the little things and the people that obviously bring up a lot. And like events and stuff, like when we went to Judges Week and kept going to that fucking IHOP like over and over again.
Right.
And all those little things are fun. Some of the weird events, like seeing the most ridiculous game reveals, and the moment we found stuff out, like Wii U and weird shit like that is just like, I don't know. It's strange. I'm not going to remember any one thing so much as just remembering like the friends and kind of the family atmosphere.
Yeah, I talk about that a lot, about how it's not really, this job is not really about like the playing the video games at work it's awesome, and talking about video games like we do every day here is fantastic. But it's like the little moments with people that never get caught on camera, because you'd have to like send in a video support request and get a video guy to come in, and he'd be like, all right, who has the weirdest boobs in comic books? Like that'll just never end up anywhere, but you have stupid conversations like that all day. Like I just turn around, I sit 5 feet from Greg, I turn around every single day, we have incredibly dumb conversations about things. None of them are documented, and I'll never, I won't have those to watch when I'm gone, but you can remember them. So that's when I was your manager. That's basically all we did. I always told you to go home early. You never did. You never did. I felt like the worst boss, because it was the first time I was really a boss, and I was like, I'm your boss, and I was like, Goldfarb, you work too hard. Take tomorrow off, and you'd be like, no. Which is, I mean, that's so messed up. You know how messed up that is?
I don't respect your authority.
Yeah, like,
in
and
the
it's the, and I was like, do I have to be a dick? Do I have to fire him for a day just to get him to get off on Monday? But no.
Oh, he gets off every day.
He gets off every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the weirdest thing coming in as a fan, like, and like people listening to this podcast might experience this. Jimmy Champagne or somebody's gonna have this.
Yeah.
Like coming into the office on the first day, and I sat by like you. So when I first came, I sat by you, Miggles, Peter, Jack and Justin, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was weird, and Damon too. But it was weird. Like Damon would walk over and have a conversation with you and Greg, and like it's this weird thing where like, yeah, it is all this stupid hypotheticals and this weird stupid conversations we have that are essentially what people are used to hearing on the podcast. You know, so it's like that weird. Holy shit! Like this is just.
I'm
the
living
people.
the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you say that all the time. That like, oh, if you know me from the podcast, you know me better than anyone. But it is true. That is like what the office atmosphere is like. Is this, you know, and that's crazy. And I don't think every job is like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very laid back and it's very conversational, but also when it's high strung and very stressful, like we're all in it together. Like people are ordering pizza, people are working late, people are running in every different direction, wearing 15 different hats, trying, you know, doing everything they can. So
yeah, that's I mean E3, right, is always what I think about. Like when we're all in that room together. Like today, like the new guys were, you know, Brian and Vince are talking about. Vince had to explain to Brian what an Airbnb was. And Vince's like, it's great, you know, you'll have like a, you know, flatware and a kitchen, and you can go to the store and put stuff in the fridge. And I'm like, you never will fucking do that. You're going to work all day long, go home, crash, wake up, and do it again. You're not going to go sit.
I was in my hotel room for like 4 hours a night during E3.
All you do is come home and sleep. That's what you do during E3. And when you're not there, you're running around the floor to run back to the war room or the, you know, whatever office we've set up. And then sit around.
Yeah, I wore a pedometer at E3 last year, and I think I walked like 11 or 12 miles a day, just back and forth around the show floor.
Well, you especially delivering the awards and stuff.
Handing out awards. Yeah, it's insane. A lot of people watch it, and they only see like the 30-second videos where like, this year's hottest, the latest and greatest games, blah, blah, blah. And that's part of it, but that's a minute out of, you know, a 40-hour day. Yeah. So, God, I'm going to miss you.
I'll miss you too.
Not to get like sad.
No. It's totally
I'm happy
fun.
for you, but I'm gonna miss you. Like you're one of my favorite people in the world. And I like having you around, legitimately. And I think like your story of coming in as an IGN fan and then doing this show that you used to listen to, like it's surreal. You know, it's insane to see something like that happen, and to go from when you first met me, you were very much like, "Hi, Brian." And I was like, "Hi," and now like we talk all the time. We're like best friends, and it's just really cool. And I wish you the best, and you busted your damn ass here, and you really need to start taking those days off, even if I'm not your boss anymore.
When you get there, just be like, by the way,
Brian gave me I've got this card. They're like, this doesn't work.
Yeah, it is. I mean, thank you. And it is, again, like the little things I'll remember, like VGA's 2011 with you and Colin, I think Walter.
Right, eating pizza.
Being there, taking pictures. Yeah, just like goofy conversations.
Yeah, for me, it's weird that you're talking about too. Like, you know, when I think of like my favorite Goldfarb memory, not one jumps out, but like the ones that jump out are the ones that are Panda Musk animated from this podcast, right? Like when you retold the story of how do we stop sweating? Like me and Steimer still say that to this day. Whenever one of us says something about being hot, well, how do I stop sweating? Yeah. And then like I wasn't even on the Beyond, but the one where you ate an apple into the mic and it's all animated and awesome. I'll embed all these in the podcast Beyond article.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get this off my chest. You used to sit next to me and ate an apple every single day. That is such a gross secondhand noise.
Yeah, sure. No one's attractive eating an apple.
No. I know. You could have the most beautiful person in the world sit right next to you and be like, and you're like, stop it.
Yep. Yeah, you hear it into a microphone, apparently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the weird thing. I did. I gave up coffee for 6 months. I replaced it with apples. It was
That's
the worst.
6 months you did that?
Yeah.
You crazy, man.
Yeah, I know.
6 months?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was the worst. Now I just drink more coffee and never eat apples.
It's that life is so dumb like that. You're like, I didn't do it, and then you're just
it
back.
Didn't matter.
It
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
change anything. You didn't live longer.
Ironside Joe is another one.
Ironside Joe, one of my favorites. You gonna take that with you? That little drawing?
Yeah, I put it in my bag just now. I cleared out my desk yesterday. That was weird.
Yeah.
Did you throw away the drawing I gave you?
No, the one that says work. The three I'm keeping are. Brian drew himself when he was my boss because he like wasn't in the office that day or something. So it's just a perfect caricature of him with his middle finger up, just says "work" in like huge letters. And I have Ironside Joe, and then Panda when he was in the office drew Elizabeth from Bioshock saying "Get back to work" or whatever. So those three I'll keep in my desk for.
So that was cool too. I mean, you were the hugest Bioshock fan before you started here, right? And you got to you went right to the surface of the sun on that one.
Oh yeah.
You met Troy Baker, you met Courtney Draper, you met Ken Levine multiple times.
They're friends now.
Yeah, you guys are buddies now.
Christmas cards.
Now you guys have totally casual conversations about soup and the afterlife. Yeah. I don't know why I said that like
laundry.
Soup.
You got some soup.
Yeah, we saw the rise and fall of SF Soup Co. In my time here.
It's a chain. You saw the rise and fall of one out of like 40 of them.
Yeah. Coming in, being the Bioshock guy was fun. Like I went with Charles to play it in 2011 when it was finally playable, and yeah.
Is that the real reason you're leaving? Like it's done now, pretty much. Like
it'll be
another 8 years.
I was only here to cover Infinite. Yeah.
Well, you did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to Irrational, by the way. Everyone thinks I'm going to Irrational. I'm not going there.
Don't just start knocking out things now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be such a naughty dog about where you're going.
Such a sly
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Cooper. Could say his exit is infamous.
I guess you could say he's going to work for Nintendo.
I hope he doesn't drive Club Crazy.
He looks like a real rock star to me.
It'd be cool if you're going to be like Shuhei's number 2.
Oh, my God. I would take that job in a second.
Oh,
I'm
well,
gonna
there you
quit
go.
this other
New
job.
people. I was going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
new dedication.
You'd be like his Salacious Crumb.
Yeah, I would be exactly like his
You'd be
Salacious
like, ah! And he would just point at
Kick
things.
me by
I know I should
mistake,
know
yeah.
that name, but
He's a little
Jabba the
rat
Hutt's,
that lives
yeah.
on Jabba the Hutt's lap.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
No,
then
I'm not
they,
saying Shuhei's Jabba the Hutt, but he's a
Yeah.
powerful man.
Sure. No,
Yeah,
I
he is,
don't
he's
think
like
anybody.
he's figuratively Jabba the Hutt in terms of the power that he holds.
Yeah, he also has a monster living underneath his bed.
Jack Tretton. Let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. Goldfarb pointed out
No Colin.
no Collins, so no one did the Roper Report. So we need to look at that
We'll do
real
it for the
quick.
blog roll, yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's easy.
There was, I mean, like, yeah, for PlayStation, they finally announced the Slim.
For North America.
The North American Vita Slim is coming in a Borderlands 2 bundle.
Yep.
You have the Slim now, right? And you
I
love
do.
it.
I have the Slim. I totally love it. I was
Man,
playing on
I'm
the
gonna
train
ch-
today. It's so light. The big fingers in the back. You know, there's bigger holes for my fat fingers.
I thought you said it came with big fingers on the back.
That's what I like. They
Just
just
dangling
tickle
off.
me. They're
terrifying,
just touching
yeah.
me the whole time. Kill me.
Yeah, I like the OLED enough. We were just talking about this in the car, but I think for me the biggest selling point on Vita Slim is the non-proprietary charging port, like being able to just use a
Right.
micro USB thing.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
cord I'm using for PS4 to charge controllers anyway.
Yeah,
like,
that's nice that they've
that
moved
part is really
everything
nice.
to that. Same thing
Yeah.
with the new Pulse headset. Or what do they call it? New Golden headset, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think that's the one Scott's
He's reviewing it. Yeah. He's put up first impressions, but it uses the same micro USB.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the more things we can charge in the same places. Oh shit!
Ladies and gentlemen, making his
hello.
return to
Barged
Podcast
in.
Beyond, Jack
Hey,
DeVries.
Jack.
He was told ahead of time he could.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see
Fine,
you.
yeah. Hi.
Here,
How are you
there's a
kidding?
chair in the
Good.
corner over there.
You're
Come hang out.
We're on video and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Just walking from the
Bust on in.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching.
Train wreck, like I've always been.
Oh,
Don't knock down
light
the microphones.
Yeah, wow.
Excellent.
There we go.
It was
I'm back to blow the place up.
It just turns out he's murdered everyone out of the
Jesus.
lobby so far. We just didn't know. You don't know. You got this guy. You're all set.
Oh,
I had this all
excellent.
set up for you.
Oh, my
I got
God.
it all
wow,
set
look
up.
at this.
I knew you were
prepared for
coming.
me.
I was ready.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
good.
talked it out
Excellent.
ahead of time.
Hi, Jack.
Hey,
You
hi,
look-
Ryan.
You look great.
You do, yeah. Last
do
time I
look
saw
really
you
good.
had long hair and like a beard.
Yes, I was a homeless person.
You really let yourself go, and it's, I'm happy you pulled it together.
I got all like, Brian Altano big, and then I.
Oh man, that's
Wow.
Damn.
never complimenting you again.
We saw a
Yeah.
picture of Brian wearing like it was from when Super Mario 3D Land launched,
Yeah.
and it was like the raccoon ears, like a Mario hat, and he had
Yeah,
fucking.
I was launching
yeah.
a personal game, Rock Bottom, that week. So
You look good.
thanks. It's
Yeah,
not
he
about
was-
me though. It's about you leaving
All right.
and
Yeah,
about
this is
him
his
not
final
looking
podcast,
homeless.
Beyond.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
sure
him.
you know. You keep up on the
Yeah.
Twitter.
I do.
Yeah,
I have heard that you're.
You made the
leaving.
joke about me finding a place closer to my apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I was proud of that.
Like
joke.
Merrigan Sub Shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
American
Second
Sub
and
Shop
Brandon.
down at 2nd and Brandon in San Francisco, California.
The finest sub establishment here in the San Francisco Bay Area.
When I need a sandwich, I go to American Sub Shop.
And nowhere else.
We really want American Sub Shop to give us free subs. Jack, what's your favorite Andrew Goldfarb memory?
It's the first Andrew Goldfarb memory when he sent us a racist puppet to the
It
GameSpy
was not,
debriefings.
no, not a racist puppet.
Oh, that's
You guys turned
right.
it into a racist puppet.
You having the puppet made
Yes.
it a racist puppet. It was a puppet of a felt black man that Andrew Goldfarb controlled,
So-
thus making it a racist puppet.
My roommate and I in New York had a set of puppets.
Right, to go
I
with
sent
your robes.
one- I sent one to the GameSpy debriefings. That was
2009 or something.
yeah.
Why don't you just send in like a nice bottle of booze or something like a normal man? You got to send a racist ass puppet to a
It wasn't
podcast.
racist. It
little
became
afro and
super
everything.
racist from what I hear. It's not of an afro. It was- oh my god.
Well, what happened? We got the puppet, and Scott Brownlee put it on his hand and was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hello," and we're like, "Nope, put that down
Yeah.
immediately. Do not
Yeah.
finish this sentence. Do not finish
Yep.
this thought."
Yep.
You sent me a Walking Dead guy. I still have it on my
I
desk.
did. It's still on your desk. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember this is a weird gift from a random fan.
Yeah. You're like,
and then you
"Ugh,"
moved
burned
here.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
My other favorite one is right before you got hired, Colin Campbell asked me about you. and he was like, "Is this guy all right?" And I was like, "Oh, that's that fan. He like sends people stuff, and he always shows up in the things, and he's like." So a bit of a stalker, eh? And I was like, yeah, but he seems pretty harmless. I don't see any problem in letting him come.
Yeah.
And now you're here.
And it worked
2.5 years later.
Yeah. I met you. So the first time I met you was at the like official 3DS launch in like March of 2011.
Yeah.
And you were like, you guys were like IGN meetup, and like only me and one other kid came. And
who was underage. I found out after I gave him a bunch of Four Locos.
Yeah.
And we walked through Dwayne Reed finding
Yep.
a birthday card for my 40-something-year-old date.
Yep.
So that was a good time.
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrifying adventure. Why would you do that to it?
What a great IGN meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Rich left me with the only 2 fans, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do it.
Oh yeah. I completely forgot Rich was even there until you said that. That was the first time I met Rich too. Then probably. Yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, 2011 was crazy. I mean, 2011 I went to Craig Harris's meet and greet in New York. I was the only fan who showed up to that one. Then I went to your thing in March in New York where I met you and Rich and the one other kid, and then started writing strategy guides like literally the next week. And then
What was your first strategy guide you wrote for us?
Duodecim, I think, on PSP.
Oh,
The Final Fantasy fighting game.
Yeah.
Wow.
9.0.
Jumped right in.
Yeah, that's right. And then I did Lego Pirates and a few other things. But then I went to E3 and did media running right after that, and then all this
That's
other
right,
stuff
we
happened.
ran you ragged.
Yep. Yeah.
That's fun. We're like, we paying that kid yet? Nah.
Whatever. Go get another USB drive. Jack,
Yeah,
you're here on Podcast Beyond
I am.
because
For
you're
the
delivering
second
me
time
something.
Ever.
Yeah, really? That's
Maybe
embarrassing.
third.
We should have
True.
had you a lot more than that.
Ooh.
You used to work at IGN.
Yes.
Then you left.
Yes.
Then you started making a card game.
Yes.
And now you're here to deliver my cards that I bought off Kickstarter.
I
And
am.
and mine.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's like
mostly Goldfarb's because he
Oh.
also got a T-shirt.
Oh.
He backed us at a higher level.
Yeah.
Hey, you were the first Kickstarter I ever did, and it was one of those things like, I'm like, clearly this isn't going to get funded. Here's just enough
Thanks
to get me
for
a pack of cards.
thanks for skipping the comedy buttons.
You guys didn't need me at all, you green
Oh,
bastards.
come on.
Oh my God, this is like.
This is
legit.
great.
This is a legit card game. It's
Wow,
it's an
yeah.
actual
No,
product
wow.
that's
Okay,
with a
gotcha.
SKU and we sell it and everything.
Wow.
It's real.
Yeah.
Speaking of skipping Kickstarters, I'm sorry I skipped yours because everyone's getting prizes but me right now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
All right,
it's
so
okay.
explain
I'll
Room
get you next
Party to
time.
everyone.
So, Room Party is a party game about throwing parties. So, every player is throwing a party and you're trying to make yours awesome while you sabotage other people's. So, kind of like Munchkin or Flux for you nerds who play, games that aren't video games. It's really simple. Pick them and play. Cards are either good or they're bad. You can figure it out. You slap them all down. Our Kickstarter did really well because of a niche group of fans.
Oh, they're called furries.
Who like the artwork that our artist does, because they are a team that does a graphic novel that was up for an Eisner a couple years ago called Nordgard. And so they just like blew it out of the water. And we were like, okay, guys, like if we get to this stretch goal, we'll make an expansion pack just for you.
Yeah.
And we're like, lols, we're going to get near it, and we're going to take all that money.
Yeah,
And they just were like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, did it.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, I
so-
remember when the update came through. You're like, and we stretch goal achieved. We're giving you this new pack. I'm like, what's the new pack? Oh, a bunch of furries. I'm like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, so-
Now I'm gonna ask you a question.
Logically.
On this FurCon expansion, there is a dragon eating a fox.
Yeah, there is.
Is that legal in the furry world?
Yeah, dragons aren't furry.
That seems like cannibalism.
Yeah, well, I guess it's cannibalism if it's another dragon. I think there's a lot of rules about that.
good
I didn't know
point.
animals were allowed to eat
It's
each other
not
at
so much
furry conventions.
like legal
That's
as
new.
it is a fetish, I would say.
Okay.
Oh.
A lot of those things. So the furry deck is actually, if you get any of the jokes, it's actually really funny. I'm pretty proud of it. But it's all inside jokes. So yeah, it's fine. So like, but the main deck is all kind of general geekery. So kind of everywhere from comic books to video games to sci-fi and stuff. And it's very like anecdotal based on the kind of just shit we've seen going to parties for conventions. For
Sure,
Comic-Con
sure.
E3 stuff. You've all
Sure.
been there. So
Awesome.
so yeah, so there's good things. There's cool things. You can have a DJ at your party, but then also you can have like a fat guy in spandex. So
That's what I want.
That's the
Yeah.
bad. Is
I'm
that
usually
the?
that guy.
is
oh,
that
that's an extra good card, of course.
Oh, that's a good card to
No,
have.
No, the spandex guy is bad.
You get people talking about that party then.
Yeah. Oh, this is the bonus pack from the Kickstarter. So we got a bunch of guest artists to do cards for us. So Zach Wiener from SMBC Comics did a card. Kent Mutal from Telltale Games did a card.
Sweet.
Matt Haley, who does comics all over the place. a bunch of other people whose names
Cool,
I can't
that's
remember.
fine. You did
There's a boob card in there.
Yeah.
It's my favorite one.
Just one?
Oh.
No, it's two. It's two boobs.
Oh, it's one card with two boobs.
Yes, one
Yeah.
card
Got
with
it.
two
I'm glad you
boobs.
didn't split them up. That would have
Yeah,
been.
that would have been.
Yeah, what? There's two one boob cards.
I went to a party that had one boob. I went to a party with the other boob.
Yeah.
Let's be friends.
Can people still get Room Party if they want to?
Yes, if you go to roompartygame.com, you can order it off the interweb. You don't have to buy the furry one if you don't want it.
Can I sell mine?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm fucking around.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you delivered. Thanks, Jack.
That's right.
Now, do you have to go deliver them to everyone from Kickstarter?
Yeah, I'm actually hand delivering them to every single person just
Wow.
to
Pile
save
of
the
plane tickets.
$5 shipping.
Cool.
That's rad.
Do you have time to hang out for the rest of the show?
Yeah,
You wanna-
hell yeah.
Oh, great. Okay,
Awesome.
great.
Great, there it is.
What else is on the Roper Report?
Oh.
Whatever new. What news happened this week?
The Vita Slim.
Vita Slim. There were a bunch of Vita games announced. Let me skip to that. Actually.
Oh, right.
On the PS.
Miramasa Baby is coming over.
Yep.
Finally.
So Murasaki Baby is coming to North America. They announced No Puzzles Allowed and No Heroes Eater, I believe it's called, for Vita, which is a sequel to a PSP game, I want to say.
That sounds like an NIS game.
What else? Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma is coming to Vita. Oh, and God of War Collection got an April release date for Vita because that was announced at E3, and
Cool.
then everyone kind of forgot about it.
That's a perfect game for Vita.
But it's only 1 and 2.
It's
Is that what the
Interesting.
original collection was too? They've
Yeah,
done
yeah,
so
no,
many
yeah,
collections
it's the
now. Okay,
God of
okay.
War Origins was like the PSP games or whatever, right? But
Right,
God
yeah.
of War
Right.
HD, and then there was like a third one that combined those two. But
Yep.
this is just that first part. I mean, theoretically, they could do the other thing too later. I think that's it. I mean, there were some other little smaller video game announcements, but the big thing is obviously the Vita
Those
Slim.
weren't the small Vita game announcements?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It's a cold world out there, Jack.
Yeah.
I think the biggest news is obviously the Vita Slim and Borderlands 2 were the big things. And Borderlands 2 has cross save, comes with 6 DLC packs.
So all of the
crazy.
stuff that you've done already in the PS3 version will just carry right over.
I'm hoping the way they
Yeah,
worded it.
it's not
Yeah.
100% clear.
They make it sound like if you start playing on Vita, you'll be able to go to PS3. I don't know if they're saying I can import my 200 plus. Like, I don't know if it's going to be any save created after that date can go back and forth, or if they can patch in so old saves work. They haven't said. We also, so we've never seen that game unless Colin and Vince finally saw it.
I don't know.
But they've never shown it running or anything. Like, I still don't understand how it's possible to get Borderlands 2 running on a Vita, but I guess we'll see.
I hope it's really well. Spring is what they're saying. That'd be awesome if it runs well and is awesome and I can play it.
Yeah, on Amazon, the pre-order thing says March 18th for the Vita Slim bundle, but they haven't confirmed that date. But that sounds like it's
That'd be
probably
crazy. That's not far.
No, exactly.
And then here's this game no one's played.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it's not so. It's being made by the guys who made Dive Kick at Iron Galaxy, and Sony's publishing it, so it's not like 2K Gearbox. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure they're involved in some way, but
Fingers
it'll be
crossed.
interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's the big stuff. PS4. I don't think there's anything too crazy.
They played more of Second Son.
more of Second Son.
They really liked it.
and some stuff they said they weren't allowed to talk about yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking through the blog roll right now to see what we
See
actually
what's
know
up.
about.
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
can
yeah.
actually talk about before we just
I don't
get
think there
in
were any big
trouble.
PS4 announcements unless I'm totally blanking on something this week. One thing for PS3, so Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate was for 3DS and Vita, and then on Microsoft's site they outed it's coming to Xbox Live Arcade.
Okay.
It's called Deluxe Edition. They haven't technically confirmed it for PS3 yet, but I would guess it's a pretty safe bet that that'll be PS3 as well.
Sure.
But that
Interesting
hasn't been
game.
confirmed.
Didn't really grab Greg or I.
Man, I was so excited for it too, but I've played like 5 minutes. I was like, nah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
It sounds that sounds awesome. I mean, it sounds like a
Yeah, a
side-scrolling
Metroid
Metroidvania.
Batman game. Yes,
Yeah.
100% in.
Like,
That
it should be
take
perfect,
two
but-
things I love and mash them together.
Yeah,
And
and-
by that thing, then every NES and Super NES Batman game should have been good, and
Yeah.
they were
Yeah,
garbage.
yeah.
But man, this is Armature. It's the guys who made Metroid Prime.
Yeah, it's not a bad game. It just didn't really do it for me. I think maybe I'll
Yeah.
give it another shot.
It's
on
one of those.
consoles.
I see it on my Vita all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm like, one day, one flight, I'm gonna come back to
Yep.
this and screw
Sure,
around
sure.
with it again.
Yeah, I never got too deep into it, but I would like to at some point.
Okay, Goldfarb. For the final time, tell me where. What is Tal yelling?
We've got donuts. I believe
Okay,
he just
great.
yelled. Yeah.
That's how the IGN works. You just toss it out the trough and everyone runs
Blah!
out. For the final time, where will I go to find out about upcoming games?
The official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors.
Or Amazon.
First off, people are asking about what segment we're going to name after you.
Ooh.
So because we have to do something to honor your passing.
Okay.
Gold time.
We'll talk when you're finally gone. We'll talk about it. I think. I need to confer. Anyways, PlayStation 3
Can we talk
games.
about microtransactions and call them cash for Goldfarbs?
Ooh,
Really
I like
good.
that.
That's really good. Okay, all right.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Keep this up, you might be coming back more
All
often.
right. I'm applying to be the new Goldfarb.
PS3
You can
games.
just call me Goldfarb.
Wow, that makes it
They
easy.
called me the new Jim for like 2 years, so it's fair.
PS3 games, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, you've played it?
Yeah, I'm so I sat with Marty while he was playing a huge chunk of it, and on like my copy I'm like maybe 6 hours in. Man, I have like 150 hours into 13-2 together. Like, I'm the person who should care about this. But the story stuff it just falls totally flat for me. The battle system's rad. They took the paradigm system from 13 and to a lesser extent 13-2 and made it like a solo thing. And it shouldn't work as well as it does, but it's really cool. But and the game still looks pretty in parts. But like
you were saying you put 100 hours into the last one, but you still don't really know what's going on in this one.
I mean, I know what's going on. It just I don't know. Like, the confusing thing is, like, so this game picks up 500 years after the end of 13-2. And everyone looks the
Why
same.
not?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Lightning has been, like, in a coma. It's a little...
Wait, after the end of what part of 2, which was a time travel game?
Yeah, so
/ alternate universes.
13-2 does come to an end, like, in present day or whatever. This is
Okay.
500 years after that, yeah. Because the idea of 13-2 is, like, you're going around killing paradoxes, like, and making paradoxes
Gotta
so
kill
that you
the
can make
paradoxes.
this timeline align or whatever.
You don't
Yeah, I
deserve
mean-
to exist because it's different from my timeline.
Yeah.
Genocide.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, I mean, Lightning Returns. I don't know. It for me didn't hit. Marty gave it a 7, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I might have gone a tiny bit lower than that, but I think that's about right. Like, the game, it is not a bad game. It's just like, if you don't care about the story, you really won't care about the story. Like, it's like you'll be skipping cutscenes. But
Gotcha.
I still think the battle stuff is really fun, and like it's much more. It has much more of like this open world feel, where like especially when you get to there's like 4 very distinct areas. There's 2 different cities, and then there's a huge like open wildlands, like grasslands area, and then a desert. And there's like day and night cycles. It's like different people are only available at different times. It has like the Majora's Mask thing where you have to like do certain things on certain days because the game like and you gain more days by completing stuff. Like, the systems of the game work really well. It's just like the story stuff doesn't really work super well.
Okay. Up next, Far Cry Classic. That's been HDified.
Of Far Cry 1,
Yeah.
Skullgirls Encore.
it's back.
Yeah, back and better than ever.
That's what Encore means.
Zombier.
Did you review Skullgirls?
No, I think Clement.
Oh,
did.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Zombier?
right. Zombier.
Is it BEER? Or
Yeah, like beer.
BIE? Oh.
Like you're
Beer.
drinking a beer.
Your beer's gone bad.
Yeah.
The PlayStation. Here we go.
But then it came back.
Yeah. So it's skunked, and then it's.
It's the next day. It's the beer the next day.
See, now the PlayStation Blog's mobile app doesn't show you all the words in the description. So here's how it goes before. I'm missing words.
We'll fill in the blanks.
You don't know what time it is. The phone rings. You wake up. The Mexican bar guy in thongs and your girlfriend's on phone threatening have a few drinks with the Univer Chancellor. You notice a bite on your arm that looks really and something smells even worse than your beer breath. Chancellor is after your girl.
I thought you were saying at the end it runs out of words. I didn't
No,
realize
it's
you meant
every-
It's cutting
Yeah.
off.
It's every other
the
word.
Description. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a game.
Wow.
Over on PS Vita, you got TXK, Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, the one Colin's been talking about forever.
Yeah.
Fort Defense, Tukaiden, The
Fort
Age
Defense?
of Demons. Yes,
Yeah.
Fort Defense. All hands on deck. Pirate Armada dead ahead. Take part in an uncompromising struggle, repelling freebooters' assault. Watch out. The enemy may catch the tide for ruining your fortress. I didn't miss a word there. The enemy may catch the tide for ruining your fortress. Build towers, collect crystals, upgrade spells, and believe in your victory.
Wow, they threw that last one in
Fort
just at the end
Defense,
there.
$3.99. Tukaiden, The Age of Demons. I'm playing that right now.
Yeah.
Fort Defense?
No, Age of
Tukaiden.
Demons.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear good things about Tukaiden.
Yeah, it's it's like a Dynasty Warriors just run around. But it's like Monster Hunter where you're expanding the map and going on because it's quest based stuff. Doodle God and Doodle Devil bundle.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Together at last.
Yeah.
Doodle God mix different elements to create your own universe in Doodle God. Starting from a single microorganism, it's talented to
It would be
start
awesome.
and end a sentence with the same phrase.
It would be awesome if Doodle Devil was destroying the worlds created by people. In
Well,
Doodle,
we're gonna find out.
Doodle God.
Starting from a
That's
single
the hottest iPhone game of 2007.
Yeah.
I
microorganism,
remember
create
that game.
Stop being
animals,
such a
tools,
doodle
and even
devil, all right?
armies. Unleash your inner god with Doodle God, Doodle Devil. Embrace your dark side. While Doodle God was creating the universe, Doodle Devil was also having some fun.
Okay,
That's the
I feel
description
like
of it.
we're summoning something by saying these words so many
By
times.
saying devil and God like 10 times.
No, by saying doodle so many times in a 30-second span.
PS2 Classic's Blowout. PS1 Classic is Pac-Man World 20th Anniversary.
Blowout, that old like really terrible Contra. Okay, wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well,
like
again, it cuts off, but its mutated clones have taken over and killed everyone aboard the Battle Platform Honor Guard, and it's up to John Dutchka to stop them.
wow.
And Wolf
I'm gonna
Fang,
start writing articles this way, like just cut, like write justify it and just cut off on that line.
Yeah.
you'll get there in the end. And that's it for that stuff. More importantly, since we're publishing late, this is going up on Wednesday as an audio MP3, Thursday as a video. Last of Us DLC.
Oh.
Left Behind comes out Friday, the 14th.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Guess we all have plans for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, my Valentine's Day is going to be. I'll be unemployed for about 2 weeks. I'm gonna end that day, my last day at IGN. I'm gonna be single on Valentine's Day and play The Last of Us and play Titanfall beta and watch House of Cards.
Why don't you?
right, House of Cards. I forgot
Yep.
about that.
Why don't you go out to a bar, meet a nice lady, take her home, and make her watch you
make her
play
watch
You don't
Play
want to
Titanfall.
The Last of
meet
Us.
a girl who goes out to the bar
On
alone on Valentine's
Well,
Day.
maybe
Well,
you-
maybe
Yes.
we'll
I guess-
do.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
Wait,
I've been there
Let me
before.
rephrase. Yeah. Go
Yeah.
do that. Do it, friends.
I've been there
a
before,
second.
Jack, and
Yeah.
it's as sad and as wonderful as it should be.
I mean, yeah.
It's the hero you deserve.
Picking up a girl who's single at the bar on Valentine's Day when I'm leaving in 2 weeks is like the ultimate like dirtbag guy like way to
Yeah,
do this.
it's
so,
pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
A programming note for Podcast Beyond listeners. On Friday, the spoiler cast for The Last of Us Left Behind with Neil and Bruce from Naughty Dog goes up on IGN as video and MP3. So, if you do the thing on the iTunes where you automatically download the podcast, it's going to get downloaded for you. Don't listen to it till you beat it. We give you plenty of time to get out in the beginning.
You
But I don't want
played
the
it.
stories of you driving your van full of nuns and freaking out.
You played it.
Yes.
Are you allowed to say how long it is?
I do not think so. I think
Okay.
I don't even know. That was all. It's all embargoed till
Okay.
whenever. I think it's
Okay.
Friday morning or whatever.
Okay.
But on Friday, you can hear me talk all about it.
Okay. Can I ask if you played it in one sitting?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've done that for long.
For
long
21
years.
hours.
They're like prying the controller out of my hands. Portillo's dead next to me. Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey,
All right.
listeners.
Hi, listeners.
There you go. Remember, everybody, be part of the show Beyond at IGN.com, just like Parker Meadows did. Beyond!
Beyond.
I would just like to say that Goldfarb will be sincerely missed. He was a great addition to Podcast Beyond. He was the perfect middle ground to Greg's extreme enthusiasm and Colin's Colin-ness. So those of us who actually know who you
Colin-ness.
are will miss you, but wish you well in your next endeavor.
Thank
But
you.
I thought I'd take the time to ask this question. What is the first thing you plan to do once you get into the open world of infamous Second Son? I plan to jump in water and see what happens. Remember, Cole couldn't get in water due to his electric powers.
Yeah, I mean,
Ah,
it'll
that's
probably be a lot like when I jumped into Infamous 2, like I just ran around New Marais and fucked shit up and got used to my power. And like, so now things are different. Like, it probably will be a lot of like, I'm assuming you start with smoke, just because that's the first thing they
Yeah.
showed. So
Yep.
like, it'll be a lot of like figuring out how to like, you can like do really cool stuff. You can like go through vents and come out of pipes and
Yeah,
all that crazy
that's
stuff.
awesome.
So,
Yeah,
like,
shoot out the pipe
yeah.
and then have like the ground below you to fly and glide over.
Yeah, it's not the first thing I'll do, but the thing I'm most excited to do is the new neon powers.
Right, and
Those
there's
are
more.
awesome.
And that's the thing. It's
I
like
mean,
a
it
Mega
looks
Man
so
thing.
cool.
You like pick up powers from people. So like we haven't even seen probably. I don't think they said how many there are, but like there could be other cool powers we don't know about yet.
Like
so,
Cut Man.
like Cutman. And
I just cut people to death. Now you can too.
Splash Woman.
I want to see
Yeah.
Woodman, where you just show up and just throw huge logs at people, and
Yeah.
they're like, "What the hell? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't even make sense."
Reconfiguring molecules to be a giant log that you toss at people. Yeah, for me it'll be the same thing. I want to explore. Like the really cool thing about this game is how different they seem to have been, or they talk about making Seattle. They're like there's different districts and they feel different. And that I want to go out and actually see if that came
Yeah,
together.
and I guess that's true too. Like this is the first time it's a real city, so I don't know Seattle super well, but I probably will go try and like look for the few landmarks I know.
Yeah,
like,
go to
look
the
for,
top
like,
of the Space
convention
Needle.
center and
Yeah,
look for
yeah.
Space Needle. Exactly, like that's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that and Titanfall
Oh, yeah,
are
that's
like
right.
the two things I'm most excited for. Right
I'm
now.
gonna look for Anthony Gallegos.
Yeah,
Fun crying in the
You'll find
corner.
I miss that man.
You'll find a million people who look exactly like him. That
Oh, I'm
city's
sure.
just
You
full of
certainly
like
will, yeah.
shaggy-haired,
and
bearded
that-
flannel guys.
That's the crazy thing too, is that they went around and licensed local businesses too to be in that game.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
I,
that's
like
awesome.
the Elephant Car Wash is there. I know a couple like local
The donut
coffee
places
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I want to
Yep,
go
yep.
see all of
There's
that
top
too.
pots
Yeah.
in the new
Yeah.
thing. Oh,
Yeah.
The
okay.
real thing too is like that.
bet they didn't get Starbucks though.
They're Seattle, but and then away is Bellevue across, like another island, not island,
Right.
but you know what I mean. In the game, it might be, but Bellevue is where Sucker Punch is located. I want to go over there and see if they did anything for like what Sucker
At
Punch
their
is.
studio,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. See if there's some stupid Sly logo somewhere.
Nate
Fox drunk outside.
That's where Cole is. That's
Yeah.
like where you find Cole.
Let's all get really meta. Yeah, that'll be fun. Jeff,
Yeah.
are you excited for Infamous?
Kinda.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
did you think of Infamous 1 and 2?
They were okay.
Wow.
I wanted to like them more than I did, and I played both of them. I never finished the second one. I just
Sure.
was
Are you a big
getting kind of.
like sandbox video game guy?
I'm not a huge sandbox video game guy. I
Okay.
kind of like the linear structure of kind of stuff. So I tend to play like main story missions more than side missions. And with Infamous, you really need to play side missions a lot.
Yeah,
You kind of
yeah.
build up your powers and do stuff. So I
Totally.
got to the part where I was like, oh, now you can't beat this boss because you're not strong enough. And I was running around, and I just was kind of getting bored. Plus, I was playing both ways at once. I would like switch.
Oh, like
I would
reload.
switch to a
Yeah.
different save file, and I would do the other one.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And stuff. So I would just because I wanted to see everything as
Like
fast
see
as
what would
possible.
have happened. Yeah, yeah.
So you
So
were
basically,
kind
I
of
got
like
halfway through the game with both types and never finished.
You-
it.
you were
Playing
playing-
how the Wikis team is going to have to play.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much. I
you were
played
sort of like
video games in
a
weird way.
doodle god and a doodle devil at the
Yes,
same
yeah.
time.
Don't do that.
No, but I've had that realization before where you play like 4 or 5 games in a row from one genre, and you just come in and you talk to people about them. And you're like, I didn't like this, I didn't like that, and all of a sudden you go, oh, maybe I don't like that genre. Maybe it's just like maybe I don't like sandbox games because I've
Yeah.
had a sort of similar thing. Like GTA 5 didn't really grab me. Saints Row 4, like I played it for a while. It was really fun to just mess around, but I reach a point where I don't care about the story to keep going because it feels like it's stopping me from having fun, and I get bored of just having fun. So
I think
Fun
that's-
sucks.
fun sucks. 8.5.
The reason Infamous excites me is because I'm usually the same way. Like most open world games, I love messing around. I love driving around Los Santos and GTA 5. Like that is really fun. But yeah, none of the story stuff has grabbed me at all. Like I got to the first heist and then like met Trevor basically, and then never got any further than that. For me though, Infamous is one of the few, or Infamous 2 is one of the few games that actually did like I gave a shit about it. And maybe because I'm a sucker for superhero stuff. Like
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
the idiot still watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that because I'm enough of a sucker. But like. Yeah, I liked Infamous 2 story a lot, and I liked I went good, but I mean, I liked going back and finding out what happened if I
Right.
did the evil stuff. Like, for me, that's one of the few that worked really well for me, which is why I'm so excited for it.
See, what's hard for me in those games is I always go pretty good, so I feel like I'm always kind of disappointing people.
What do you do in Mass Effect?
I didn't play it.
I mean, the ultimate evil
that was the
decision.
The ultimate-
decision.
I was a doodle devil. No, but in Infamous, I do the same. I play really good all the time, but every now and then I'm like, oh, I shot a cop. Oh, fuck. I'm so sorry. And then like they put up one poster of me, and they're like, he shot a cop, but otherwise he's pretty good. It's hard to live with myself when I do stuff like that. So I'm like, morally, it's so much easier to just be miserable and horrible all the time in those games. But when you always play good, but you screw up every now and then, like it affects you more. It hurts you.
Isn't it weird how that mechanic was so important at the beginning of this generation? Like Bioshock 1, Infamous, and Mass
Yeah.
Effect, and so many other things like made it, and I guess to a lesser extent Fallout, like made choice this thing that was so important. But like, I don't know. I like the 2 different endings of Infamous 2, but I don't know that we've gotten a game where it really, really, really felt like it totally changed everything.
Yeah.
To make your choices
Yeah.
different. Like even Walking Dead gets there a little bit, but like.
Nah, Walking Dead, I think he's like even your choices in terms of like the
It- you still-
ramifications
it's like
of the
a round-
ending.
yeah,
I always
you
talk
still
about it
go.
that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
of course,
you get funneled into the same cone no matter
Like,
what.
I can't wait till we have a thing where, and maybe it's Infamous Second Son, I don't know enough about it, but like where there is some kind of choice, some kind of morality, some kind of karma thing, but it like fundamentally changes everything.
Yeah.
Like that's one of those like next gen ideas I think is really cool.
See, I think
Because we'll
I
get
think
there.
they're getting better because like one of the first games I ever remembered playing like this was True Crime, that old cop game.
Yeah.
And you were a cop, but you could be a bad cop. And if you were a bad cop, it meant you weren't a cop, you were a murderer. Like, you were running around, you were shooting like, no police officer ever, they'd be like, oh, he's a bad cop. Like, no, he killed 90 people. That's not a bad cop anymore.
You make
That's,
Training Day look like
yeah, Training Day
Scouts.
looks like you look like a doodle god in that movie. All right, it's over. But that was so ham-fisted and so dumb. So it was cool to see, like, with Infamous, it got a little smarter and a little better.
Well, that was what's interesting about the endings of Infamous is that they are radically different,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, that leaves the story in two different places, which is why it was
Yeah.
weird when they came out. Like, we just had to choose one of the endings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's
Which is
what's
kind of the
tough too,
problem
because
with
they do
that.
like
Yes.
when you do a sequel or something, and The Walking Dead was sort of like when you started
Right.
season 2, I brought over my file, but for some people, like, they didn't do that, and it was just like, oh well, we'll make decisions for you, and it's like, oh, Linda's dead and Bobby's alive, and you have a
Yeah.
kid with Joey, and it's like, how did that work? Don't worry about it. Time travel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I haven't played episode 2 of Wolf Among Us yet, but I know like it begins differently based on what you chose at the end of
Yeah,
season 1, so
yeah.
or episode 1, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. It's kind of like what you just said. We're going to kind of reach a point where that creative freedom of making a branching gameplay like that is going to alienate a bunch of people. Like, you could spend 5 years playing a franchise, like, completely different than somebody else. Like, if I know you mentioned Mass Effect earlier, but doesn't that sort of happen with that, where they're on their third one now and it just keeps going down that path?
That was why people freaked out about 3, because in the end, like, the ending of 3 didn't play out as differently as people thought it would.
Yeah.
Even though, like, the characters who were still alive throughout did, but, like, in Mass Effect 3, like, if you had, someone alive or someone dead, rather, they would just replace them with, like, a different Solarian or, like, a different, like, and there was still a character who functioned the same way. They just had, like, a few less lines of quippy dialogue as a character that you
and
knew.
that's for me the same thing with what you're talking about with Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sure. I
it's
haven't
the
played
exact same
episode
thing.
2
It's
yet,
like,
but
whatever.
Don't ruin my fantasy of it being the one.
This is so radically different.
There
Can't
will
believe I'm
be-
interrogating this guy instead of this guy.
There will be a game that gets it. It'll happen.
Sure,
I just don't know when that
it's
is.
such a you have to invest so many. We were talking about how hard it, now that we're on the other side of the industry, knowing what developers go through.
Yeah.
You have to make 2 games.
Years
essentially.
of your life on something no one will see. It's
Yeah.
Sure,
That's.
yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine that. Like, when Uncharted 3 came out, I remember people like wrote. I was doing some show with you, and people wrote in, and they're like, "Oh, when he was flying that plane over that area, I just wanted him to like skydive down and like go to Africa for a year." And it's like, no, someone would have to make that. Like, you can't just have a guy fly over a part that's optional to drop down to. That's a whole world. Like, people have to understand that it takes hundreds of and thousands of people to make an entire environment like that. So.
Right. And that's why I think the smartest thing that people have come up with to replace that is like environmental storytelling, like audio diaries, and like in Dishonored, like you can use the heart and learn stuff about people.
Yeah.
And in The Last of Us, you can find stuff that enriches it, but not everyone will see that. But at the same time, it's not like it took them all these resources and like 2 years of mocap to create a whole part of the game you'll never see.
Mm-hmm.
Nate from Michigan writes in and says, do you think it's a no-brainer to have Minecraft PS4 work seamlessly with the Vita? If so, why haven't we seen any features for the upcoming Minecraft releases? Thanks and beyond.
I don't
P.S.
know.
Damn you, Goldfarb.
Greg and I want that like crazy.
Yeah, you and I
that'd be
are
right.
now
Oh
in
my
love
God.
with it.
Minecraft on Vita is when it. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
the one I'm waiting for the most. For sure.
Yeah, it sucks that we know nothing about. I mean, the reasons that no features on IGN about PS4 Minecraft Vita is just that they haven't talked about it. Nobody knows anything about it. Like, it's not Mojang doing it. It's J4, right? They're the ones who
but
are.
they're the ones who did the 360 version and stuff. So
Sure,
like,
no,
there's
they're
been-
great. They
yeah,
did the
yeah,
PS3 version. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that their lips are sealed kind of thing. It was the
Sure.
same thing with Minecraft PS3, where we knew that all these versions were coming, and then just one day they were like, okay, it's coming out in 2 weeks or whatever it was. I was like, that's awesome.
I'm
but
glad they didn't hold it. Like, I'm glad they didn't wait to do PS3,
Put out
PS3
one
and
giant
4
thing.
and Vita all at once. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that seems to be what happened with that HBO Go announcement. Like, it took forever for it to finally happen, and it seems to be because they wanted to be able to announce it for PS3 and 4 at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked for it, but I don't know how it's going. I mean, yeah, it's a no-brainer that it should seamlessly work together. But
Yeah,
will it?
Greg and I have
don't
been
know.
playing the PS3 version like crazy every morning at 10:30 Pacific.
Here on
time.
IGN.com.
Here on IGN.
It's like a
15
25
minutes
part
of it,
series now, right?
But yeah, but we always have the conversation like all the work and all the progress we've done in our village or our town, whatever. Like, will that just pick up day one? Cloud save over to PS4. Like, I don't know. If perfect world, I'm able to jump from there to PS4 and throw it on my Vita, turn off the TV, put something else on. And
Theoretically,
just bring it on the train,
shouldn't be that hard, right? Because when we play, we stop, we sign offline, and so then I just, I cloud save the save to download on my other PS3. So if it's the exact same game, it wouldn't be trouble. But if they have to make, changes or whatever if they're for some reason.
And that's the thing. PS3 to PS4, I can't imagine being a major problem.
Yeah.
To Vita, it becomes the question of, like, does it have the resources to build your whole
Sure.
gigantic
Yeah,
world?
yeah.
And,
Sure. I mean,
like,
something-
you built the entirety of fucking Game of Thrones. Like, can it process that on the Vita?
The
Like, that's hard
PS3
thing.
version is drastically smaller than the PC version, and then there's a mobile version out for iPad and Android
Right.
and stuff like that that's drastically smaller than the PS3 version. And I'm talking about, like, instead of going on for 5,000 blocks or whatever, it's 1,000 or something like that. And I've played the tablet version, and it's cool. It's a fun toy, but it's a much smaller thing. So.
Yes.
I'm hoping that's not what the Vita version is. I'm hoping that the Vita version is somewhere between the two. I can sacrifice some draw distance in knowing that the world's bigger, but it'll just be fogged out until I get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to keep playing that game no matter where it goes, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Vita, it'll be the game changer, which
Yeah.
I hate saying cliche quotes, but I mean for real, like that'll be the only thing I play in my Vita probably for a good month or two.
We'll see
Yeah.
if I finally stop playing Spelunky by then.
You should.
So you're not gonna play Doodle God?
No, I'm more of a doodle devil. I'll see how that one comes
Oh my
together.
God.
Jack, I'm happy you're here.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
First off, I like you.
Oh,
but
thanks.
secondly, most people know you as a Nintendo voice from the channels, the sites.
The real inventor of Koopalings,
Yes.
Rich George.
Yes. The I coined the phrase Koopalings, which
I
is
think
anyone using that anymore? Did we kill that?
No, and I think Nintendo coined that phrase.
Oh yeah. Okay. Fine. It's true.
It's fine.
Bandar
You
writes
made it a
in
thing.
from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and says, "Hello, Mr. Miller and company. I read Mr. Moriarty's list of his top 25 games of all time, and I was really ecstatic to see two of my three favorite Mario games included in it: Super Mario World and Super Mario Brothers 3. Now, of course, I had Super Mario World on my list too, but I get no credit in this
No.
question.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask all of you a
Fanboy.
question though: which type of Mario game do you like? Do you prefer 2D Mario games or 3D Mario games?"
It's the impossible question.
Nope,
Yeah.
2D. Done.
No, for me it's
Hold on, no, let me.
That was it?
my favorite Mario without doubt is Mario 3 for sure. That game did a ton for me as a kid. Or I mean, Mario World is a very, very, very close second.
Super Mario World's
World
awesome.
on SNES, yeah. But that said, like Galaxy or probably Galaxy 2 is probably my favorite game of this generation, or very, very close.
Yeah.
And so like, I think both can be incredible. Like, yeah, like gun to my head of all time, of course I'm going to say 2D because that's what I grew up with. But I still think Tokyo EAD can make incredible new 3D Mario games, and a Galaxy I never, ever, ever would have seen coming.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the one I always go back to in my brain is as being my favorite Mario game, and I play through Super Mario 1 every year. I play through Mario 2 all the time. 3 not as much for some reason. Although I love it
Because it's garbage.
Because it's garbage.
the
World is fantastic. I played I play every Mario game probably more than anybody in this building, hands down. And Super Mario 64 is the one that goes, yeah, that's it. Because it's open world, it's free, it's synonymous with 3D gaming for the first time for me. So it's got this very memorable part of my brain is just sort of like, that's how you make a 3D platformer. And I watched that genre get like destroyed years after that. Like it flooded with collectibles, and Rare, for as much as I love what they used to do, I mean, they took that genre and they just put here's a balloon and a puzzle piece and a blah and 100 million things. And Galaxy took it and kind of constrained it to smaller bite-sized planets, and Mario Sunshine kind of like threw a lot of the rules out the window and put it in this tropical environment that I didn't care about. But Mario 64 was everything I've ever wanted in a Super Mario game right there. Like all the platforming challenges of the 2D ones are there, all the freedom of the 3D ones are there, and it did it perfectly.
Yeah, and I think 3D World, the most recent one, the Wii U one, balances that really well.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is my answer to his question is that my favorites are the 2D ones. They are.
Yeah.
But as far as what I want them to make now, I never want to see another new Super Mario Brothers game. I do
Yeah.
not want another 2D Mario because they're spinning their wheels. Like I would rather see them just do, and I don't even want Galaxy 3. I would rather see them reinvent it again for better or worse and do something totally different.
Yeah.
And if that's 3D, which it likely would be, like I would prefer that right now.
Yeah, we're also, I mean, we've been amidst this pretty awesome 2D platforming renaissance in the last 7 or so years, and we get a Donkey Kong Country game every 2 years
Having
now,
trouble with your 3D.
and a new Rayman and stuff like that, and like all those play great. So I'm fine with those. Nintendo sort of passing the torch to those guys to do 2D platforming games like that. And Nintendo can go on and do more stuff like 3D World or Galaxy 3 or make a Mario 64 too. You know, something that's just like what I loved about Mario 64 was it's this open world and there's paintings everywhere, and you jump in the paintings, and that gives you an excuse to be like, I'm in Ice Town or Fire Hole or whatever it is, Fire Hole.
Go to that fire hole.
Go to Fire Hole.
Classic Nintendo locale.
And you know, everything else you kind of have to like shoehorn this progression to get that in there. So I don't know. I'm with Goldfarb. I've played every 2D Mario game. I enjoy them all, but I'm kind of burnt on them.
Yeah.
I think we got 3 in the last 2 years. Like,
I mean, yeah, and like you're the big defender of New Super Mario 2, the coin one.
yeah,
on 3DS,
I enjoyed it.
but, like,
I enjoyed Super Luigi U. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
they're fun games, and it's like if Nintendo did that forever, they could still make decent money if they had a system that was selling. But like they aren't doing the creative, weird, inventive Nintendo thing that I want from them.
Yeah.
You know, like, and 3D World came really close though. I think 3D World is a cool way to balance. It feels like 2D levels, but
I
just
love
like,
3D World. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
really
really
fun.
fun.
Pretty excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everything I would say would just reiterate your guys' stuff. I like so when I say Mario games, I always think 2D.
yeah.
If someone's like, oh, you like Mario, it's like 2D Mario.
Yep.
I never think like, you mean Sunshine?
I love the water mechanics.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Galaxy 2 is one of my hands down best Wii experience.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
It's an
Nothing
incredible
even
game.
comes close to it.
Yep.
So yeah, but absolutely, I never want to see a sequel to that, and I never want to play a 2D Mario again. Another one. Like
Right.
I have a backlog of ones on my 3DS. Like I got.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah. If
I
they
can
take-
happily replay any of them again. I don't need to get another
Sure.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love them to take time off, like kind of like Mega Man, right? Where granted now they took time off for Mega Man and kind of screwed it all up.
Cancel
But-
like 11 games.
Yeah. But I mean, and then all of a sudden, like an 8-bit or 16-bit Mario comes back, right? And it's just that. It's not
Yes.
what we've
Yeah.
seen with like the different new Super Mario Brothers, where it's like.
Oh, so you want it to be like pixel art?
I would
based.
love another pixel art Mario.
Man, that
Eventually,
that would be so cool.
Not right
Yeah.
now. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm with you
Yeah.
on what you're saying. My hang up always is that as great as Galaxy was, for me, I don't know. It's probably just a personal problem, just being stupid. But like the depth perception was always off, and so like I would think I was gonna make a jump and then fall and die, and I was
Yeah.
like I was so over it before I even got deep into it. Of just like
Sure.
I feel bad playing this game, and that's why I loved World so much. Or right,
3D
Mario
World.
3D World.
Yeah.
The new one, yeah.
Yeah. Gotta
Their
take a deep
names are
breath.
so simple.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The Wii U one,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the
yeah.
Wii
Well,
one.
3D World fixed the perspective a lot.
Right.
So
and
it wasn't
was fun,
just
and I
like.
could play it, and
Yeah.
I was great.
But I did the same thing with Galaxy for like the first hour I played it. I was jumping off the wall in the wrong direction,
Yeah.
falling into pits and stuff like that. And
Remember
I
that it
wonder-
opens with like it starts 2D and eases you into 3D. Like
Yeah.
they knew that their
Yep.
depth perception was off
Yeah.
in that game.
Yeah.
And they try
Yeah.
to like ease you into it.
By
Yep.
Galaxy 2, I feel like it was better, although maybe that's just because by that point I had like 100% of Galaxy 1.
Hassan writes in and says, "Dear podcast, first I would like to
Just
say
any of them?
Beyond."
Beyond.
Oh, so we got the right podcast.
Yeah, he got the right one. This is just his general one. He said, first off, I would like to say Giant Bob. I have a question for you. I own a PS2, PS3, PS4, PSP, and a PlayStation Vita. I recently found out Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes is only 2 hours long. My question is, 1, should I buy it? If so, which system should I get it for, the PS3 or PS4? I've played the other Metal Gear games, and my favorite one is Metal Gear Solid 3. Plus, keep in mind I do have Infamous Second Son pre-ordered.
I mean, I can't wait to get rid of my PS3. I would always say PS4. Like, I mean, I'm going to wait for Persona 5 and
Yeah.
other stuff, but like, to me, there's no question if it's available for both.
No, my PS3 is absolutely like that cop that keeps getting pulled out of retirement.
Yeah.
Like where he's like, God damn it.
last day.
And I'm like, nope, sorry, you got to do this again. You know, like Wolf Among Us
Rookie
comes
still doesn't
out.
have any cases.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I would go PS4 too, because I mean, just that, like, it's like Assassin's Creed, right? Or Assassin's Creed 4 looked great on PS3,
Yeah.
but it's just that little bit of shine they had on PS4.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
well, this
totally.
is better. I'd rather have that. But more to the point, should he? I mean, like, first off, wait for the full IGN review, yada yada yada, keep it locked. But I mean, should he buy? I mean, based on time alone, 2 hours to complete the campaign of Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, should he worry about that?
I personally prefer that. Like, I would rather have a tighter thing with no padding.
And it's cheaper. It's not a full $60 game, right?
I mean,
What is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
30,
Oh,
is
this
that what it is?
like I think it's 30 on PS3 or 30 on PS4 and 20 on PS3, maybe.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
a-
like Revengeance was what 4 hours
Yeah,
or something,
exactly.
and that cost $60, and
Yep.
Sure.
it was really fun though. So like
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is like I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, obviously, and
Would
like
you pay $15 an hour to play Metal Gear
well,
Solid?
that's just the
Probably.
story.
Oh,
yeah, I
would.
would.
I'm excited about it, and I'm still gonna do the same thing I do with Origins and take the day off and just sit there and do every side mission. Do all. It looks like
You could-
HD Peace Walker. It's like
You
yes,
could
I
take
want that.
you could take a long lunch.
Not to do everything, Brian.
Be
to
back
do
by 2.
everything.
You'll be fine.
Mitch is, we can say publicly, Mitch is seeing it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kojima posted a photo. You
Right,
would see Mitch
exactly.
in the background.
So
playing.
I mean, we'll have more on it. I don't know when that embargo is, but I mean,
don't either.
there will be stuff coming, and I'm sure. I think he's like probably seeing either all of it or a very significant chunk of it. So I'm sure we'll find out more.
I don't think it's worth disqualifying it from your buying purchases
If you're a
based
Metal
on
Gear
2
fan,
hours.
you're gonna want to play it. Like, I'm not gonna play it because I have no idea what the hell's going on. But like, I think like if you want MGS5, like the real MGS5 fan of pain when it's coming, like this is the prologue to it that's
Sure.
gonna bridge all the gaps and answer all your questions. So yeah, absolutely play it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been Podcast Beyond episode 328. One day I'll stop being dyslexic about those numbers because I do it every time. Thank you for listening. Remember, the podcast posts as an MP3, usually on Tuesdays, unless we have to dance around schedules.
For
and
someone
then
who's not even here.
as a video on Wednesday. This time, of course, it's posting on Wednesday with a video on Thursday, and then Friday is the Last of Us spoiler cast. Make sure you download it and get it all saved and prepped, and watch it after you beat Left Behind. Don't watch it beforehand. The podcast is all fun and games, but IGN.com keeps the mics on, so go there, read the articles, watch the videos. Download the PlayStation 4 app so you can watch these videos on your PlayStation 4. Then make sure you follow everybody on Twitter. IGN is at IGN. I'm at GameOverGreggy. Brian is at Agent Bizzle. For the last time, Andrew Goldfarb is at Garfep. Whew, nailed it.
You did.
Jack, what is yours now? You switched it a long time ago and it screwed me
Yeah,
up.
such a long time
Okay.
ago. It's at Jack Drat.
DR.
A-T.
Perfect. And
Like,
Jack D. Rat.
like Jack came in, Drat. Like he knocked over a lamp and got in front
Oh,
of the
yeah.
thing, and then stuck around for an hour. Drat.
Yeah, you were great. Of course, everybody can go get Room Party at roompartygame.com.
Yep.
Nailed it. Whew. I'm getting good at this
Yeah.
stuff.
You really are.
Andrew, I love you so much.
You too.
I'm going to miss you a lot.
I'm gonna miss you
Miss
too.
you too.
That's not fair.
I'll still see you.
Nope. I will never speak to you again, and I will kill you if you show up
In
to
2
anything
years,
again.
you can come back for a podcast.
when some other idiots leave
Yeah,
it.
bring your collectible card game in here, knock some crap over, and you're good to go.
Users lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.